what it would feel like to have a business relationship with someone that is, constantly referring to you, to meet your team, and to have the trust in you and your team and your operation to take care of her grandmother and then make that statement at the end to be a grandmother in a granddaughter in her final days. I don't even know what to say to that, but wow.
What kind of impact are we providing, right, on the world? We've just our little office here. I mean, we've got our small community here, and I know we're doing this across the nation with Touching Hearts as a whole, right? So the scale of impact that we're making here is really significant. Those are really key moments in life, right? I mean, I wish I would have, had that opportunity with my grandfather. That's why I got into this business, but, I didn't. I mean, I think that's pretty special.
Good day to all, and welcome to another episode of Conversations from the Heart. My name is Glenn Langang, and I serve as the Vice President of Franchise Development here at Touching Hearts at Home. And today, I am joined by an absolute stud who I had the privilege of meeting last week at some meetings. Chris Greene, why don't you introduce yourself to the crowd?
Thanks for teeing me up, Glenn. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, Chris Greene. So yeah, I'm born and raised in Colorado native. Went to CU Boulder, go Buffs, if any of those that follow. But yeah, I mean, started, this is my home ground here in Colorado, and started my business here with Touching Hearts about 14 years ago, and
Whoa.
Just living the dream, man, but still live here, grew this business, but was born and raised by my family. They still live here close. Met my wife here in Denver.
That's awesome.
And yeah, I mean, this is my community where I grew up, and now helping out a little bit.
That's awesome, Chris. Tell me, you said a few things there that I wanted to jump right in and ask, but I've learned in the podcast world to wait and let my guests finish. But first of all, born and raised there, right? You went to Colorado, graduated from Colorado. I know you're a big Buffs fan. First of all, I have to ask, what are your thoughts on the Buffs this year? And are you excited about what Dion is bringing?
Oh, for sure. I mean, Dion, it's for the first time in, since I went to school there, they're relevant, so it's huge. I mean, they're relevant. I mean, again, when I went to school there, it was the dark ages. I mean, but we went to every game, me and my friends, we've had season tickets actually ever since. So, super excited. We love Coach Prime. I mean, he's brought a whole new energy to the program. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be an interesting year. It's a transition year because two of our best players, our two best players left, and certainly a couple others as well. So Shadur and Travis Hunter, they're great players. We'll see how they bounce back. I mean, but I believe in Coach Prime. He's gonna have them ready, and sure thing, man. I'll be there to cheer him on this coming fall.
That's awesome. If you don't mind me asking or inviting myself, listen, I'll pay for my own ticket, but I just want to experience the Colorado atmosphere because I hear it's
man.
big.
I mean, you catch it on a great fall day, come early on, you got the Flatirons in the background, Folsom Field. Oh man, can't beat it. Can't beat it. Yeah.
Now tell me, family, married, kids?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to say I got it all, right? I mean, yeah, I had a baby, my wife and I, we had a newborn daughter about, actually tomorrow she'll be 8 months old. So yeah, it's been a whirlwind, man. It's been wonderful, but yeah, my family, I was, like I said, born and raised here in Colorado. My parents still live here. I'm super close to them. They're living the whole grandparent dream now. They're enjoying that. They're probably with my baby right now, hanging out with. They love to get their fixes, as they like to call it. So, yeah, they're enjoying their time. And, yeah, I mean, I met my wife here in Denver as well, too. She went to the University of Denver. Okay. And yeah, we've just started a family here, man. It's pretty great.
Outstanding. So Chris, One thing that you mentioned quickly in the intro there, you said that you've been running this business, Touching Hearts at Home. Did I hear you correctly? Did you say 14 years?
Yeah, 14 years. Feels like
Okay.
14 years.
So I think the audience would be upset with me if and I'm not going to directly ask, but obviously you're a lot younger than I am. Okay. We don't want to get into to your age. I mean, that's fine, but you've been running a business now for 14 years. Okay. How did you get the courage to take the risk at such a young age? Do you regret it? Do you wish you would have waited? There's so many questions. Are you happy that you did start when you did? I mean, I have so much here. Please.
Yeah. What's interesting is, we're talking about family. My parents both were, I come from a family of entrepreneurs. My mom and dad both had their own companies. And so, I got out of college, started, a corporate job, wasn't for me. And then started helping out my mom in her business. And, quickly I got approached by Touching Hearts. It was just the timing, right? And there's a lot of connections there that are really cool. But, for me, I mean, could I have done it? Maybe I was 22. Could I have done it earlier? Probably not. I would have been dropping out of college. My parents probably would not have approved of that. So I wouldn't say I'd recommend starting it sooner than me. But no, I mean, they were influential in telling me or encouraging me to bet on myself. And I know that's pretty rare, right? I know I have it very different. Both my parents did it and they said, bet on yourself, do your thing. And just really, I wouldn't say pushed me to do it, but they were definitely supportive in it and were excited for me in that opportunity. So yeah, I mean, do I wish I would have started later? I mean, no, I don't have any regrets in this business at all because, I used those years to learn, to grow, and get the business to where it is today. And it's been super successful, super rewarding and fulfilling. And again, kind of tying it back to family, right? Like I have a 8-month-old now and have, two wonderful businesses that are thriving and are doing well and allows me to be there for my family during those really critical moments, So no, no regrets.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And I want to just stay here for a minute. You said something to the effect of rewarding and you get to give back to your community. How does this business allow you to do that? And what does that mean to you? Obviously, it means something.
Yeah. I mean, this business allows you, I think every entrepreneur makes a difference in the world, right? But with this business in particular, Touching Hearts, it's on a whole different level. It may not be the sexiest business, it's definitely not the easiest business, but it is absolutely the most fulfilling business I can think of. I think of years ago, we had when I was, marketing my business out to the communities, we often, our business is mostly word of mouth referrals. So, part of how we get our word out about our business is meeting with people that, might run into folks that need help. So meeting with a social worker at a rehab facility, and, the greatest compliment that an entrepreneur can get is someone that refers your business, right? So, already she was doing that for us. She's referring us to, her patients that are leaving her building, making sure that they go home successfully with our care. But then she actually came to me and said, my grandmother is on hospice and we need you guys to help. And I mean, that was, I couldn't have imagined. I mean, for her to trust in us, I mean, what a compliment, right? For her own grandmother. So her grandmother's on hospice. Inevitably she does end up passing, unfortunately, but, we did help throughout that whole journey. I remember coming back to her, after, everything had passed, and I just wanted to ask her, hey, how do we do? Were we helpful? I just wanted to hear how her experience was with what we did. And it was cool. Something I'll never forget. She said, you guys stepping into being caregivers for my grandfather allowed me to be a granddaughter again instead of being a caregiver. And she said, I'll cherish that for the rest of my life, that I had that opportunity during her last days. And that, to me, like I said, I'll carry that with me forever. So, I mean, yeah, It's
Wow.
that those stories right there really do it.
Thank you for sharing that. And I can't imagine what it would feel like to have a business relationship with someone that is, constantly referring to meet your team, and to have the trust in you and your team and your operation to take care of her grandmother, and then make that statement at the end to be a grandmother in a granddaughter in her final days. I don't even know what to say to that, but wow.
What kind of impact are we providing, right, on the world? We've just our little office here. I mean, we've got our small community here, and I know we're doing this across the nation with Touching Hearts as a whole, right? So the scale of impact that we're making here is really significant. Those are really key moments in life, right? I mean, I wish I would have, had that opportunity with my grandfather. That's why I got into this business, but I didn't. I mean, I think that's pretty special. So yeah, agreed.
Oh, absolutely. Chris, you mentioned your parents, and I also heard you say that, your parents encouraged you. They didn't tell you that was their path. They encouraged you to go to college. And what I'd like, if you don't mind, just share, because I think a lot of entrepreneurs, right, we're wired to do things and go and blaze a path and make things happen. But at the end of the day, every entrepreneur needs someone lifting them up, someone encouraging them, someone to talk to when things are not going well. And if you don't mind, I'd like for you, if you would, to just share, like, do you recall maybe what were some of the most influential lessons your parents may have taught you or told you that you still grasp onto today?
My parents in particular, it was something that as I grew up, really, I mean, I was 22 when I started this. So, I'm growing up running my own business, but I'm also able to be close to both my mom and my dad in my 20s, but my mom was still running her business as well too, and I was very close to that. So, and involved with it as well. So I learned, day by day what it's like to be a leader,
Mm-hmm.
and, she taught me, and this wasn't something that I learned at a later age, but also early on that, there is no job beneath you. And so you'll still see me today, right? Like if there is a challenge that a caregiver has, if there is a challenge that just any of my team members have that may not be my direct report anymore, I will insert myself to help them. And so I think that's something that definitely instilled in me. I mean, it's a grit. It's a devotion to service, to family as well, right? I mean, you know, funny story. I mean, we have, my dad in his later years decided to join my mom's business, right, and be a part of being the sales department for the company. And it's so funny because we joke. True story. I mean, he's been fired and rehired 3 times by my mom. So it shows you kind of the dynamic of our family, right? It's and really, I mean, I know the last one that I remember was, he was supposed to be out in a sales call, and my mom saw his car at the tennis courts, and she came and put the hand on the hip, staring him down. But so we joke about that. But really, it's, I mean, we're such a tight family, it's we always rehired him, right? He always came back. And but it's really the balance that we have. It's taking ourselves and our work seriously, and the impact that we have on the people that are a part of what we do, and the value that we bring to our community, our employees, our clients, our customers. That's at the core of what we do, is looking through that lens. Are we taking care of these individuals? And taking that very, very seriously. And then you have my dad, right? That is balancing this, where it's like, okay, let's not take ourselves too seriously. Let's have some fun a little bit. So I think a lot of that really is what they instilled in me for sure. But one of the things definitely that, I attribute a lot of my success was just unconditional love, them supporting me, start to finish, encouraging me to do something that is really just betting on yourself. It really is. And with a franchise system, to me, it's your odds and your likelihood of success in a business, skyrocket. They're exponentially greater than starting your own, right? So, I think last I saw it was 90% success rate, right, for starting a franchise business versus just your own, from the ground. But so the success rate's higher. I think they knew that, but they also believed in me too. So, it's this faith, this belief, and a dedication to your clients and your team that join what you're building.
So 14 years in business, what do you see for the next decade in your business?
I'd love to continue something that, I think of the past 10 years and how can I model what I look at that and channel it to the future. I look at how can we continue to provide more value at a higher scale with our service, right? So, I'd love to continue expanding into other markets if that becomes an opportunity that we can do. I'd love to also continue to look at the market that we have here and the community that we have and finding more opportunities where we can be the ones providing that support. I think there's still so much. Home care is still, even though it's been around for a while, to some people, it's a very novel idea. So, educating the community on what options are available and, again, continuing to expand our scope and our scale of our services to support the community that, I grew up in is everything to me.
That's awesome.
So yeah, 10 years. Yeah. I know we'll still be doing this. That's for sure. But,
we sure hope you are. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. But at what level, I think is the exciting part, right? Are there some other areas that we can step into, some other markets? I'm here for it. I love a good challenge, and, I'm definitely not done. I got a long ways to go.
Yes, you do. In closing, I have to ask, you're a high achiever. You're a fun guy. You're great to hang out with. You're a family man, beautiful family, connected with your parents, run it. Great operations, plural, have great teams. What inspires you? Because you're doing a lot of inspiring stuff, but I want to know what makes the heart of Chris Greene just beat, keeps you up at night.
Well, I'll tie it back. It's a couple of things. It's constantly seeking a challenge in myself. I love growing and pushing myself, but really, touching hearts is special to me because it really is making a difference. I shared that story with our referral source's grandmother. Like, that gets you going. The understanding and knowing the impact of what you're coming and doing on a day's work and what that feeds to the rest of the world, and having that level of impact, to me is, man, it really gets me going. On top of that too, I think of, we had a team member, multiple, but one that comes to mind. I had a team member that we were looking for an entry-level HR position, and this a couple of years back. And she had spent 10 years, over a decade, I think, at least working at Chick-fil-A, right? And her dream was she was a caregiver before for her family, but her dream was to become an HR professional, right? And to grow her career. When she came across and interviewed with us, I said, okay, I think this is someone that, really is excited and wants to grow and wants to join this company for the right reasons too. But it was, she ended up joining our team and was with us for a handful of years. But the coolest thing was, helping her grow and achieve her career goals and her life goals. She was going to school at night to get her HR degree. And just taking her under my wing to an extent and watching her thrive and succeed and come from working at Chick-fil-A, which Chick-fil-A is great, nothing wrong with that. But turning her career lifelong goals into a reality. It was almost it was bittersweet, but it was one of the coolest days when she came to me and said, "Hey, Chris, I think I have an opportunity to join." She always wanted to join a big corporation as an HR professional. She came to me and said, "I have this opportunity." And again, I was like, "Oh, I'm so sad to see you go, but dang, that is cool." Like, we as a company helped you get there and grow into exactly what you wanted to do in life. That to me inspires me too. So, we have some wonderful people that when you're a business owner, you come in contact with, and, being a source of inspiration to them as well too.
Yeah.
And lifting them up, I think is not only, not only a privilege, but I think a bit of an obligation as a leader.
Yeah.
So I take that very seriously. And, but at the end of the day, for me, it's like, those things, you go to bed at night and you're like, okay, we're doing something here,
Yeah.
this is a legacy that I'm comfortable with, and I mean, to tie that in, I mean, with my daughter, right? My family, I mean, they're my reset button, right? They're the reason for the legacy. I come home and it's like, okay, this is also what I do it for too, right? And what kind of father do I want to be for her, and what kind of man do I want to represent and be for her in her life is super important to me too. And yeah, ultimately just all that pushes me to be the best person I could be, for sure.
Well, as always, Chris, every time I have the opportunity to talk with you, I think I'm going to try to encourage you somehow, and you always find a way encouraging me. And I appreciate that. And, I read something not too long ago that pertained to really kind of what you're talking about. And in terms of the mark of a true leader is really investing in other people's dreams, right? Like, and what's interesting about the story you just told about the young lady that had a dream to be an HR professional is you saw and walked her through that and understood her dream. And then when the day came where you lost someone that you invested in, that you clearly liked and believed in, and she went on to pursue her dream, I know that because as a leader, you've dealt with this in your experiences. It hurts because there's a personal connection, yep. But because you're losing someone. But at the end of the day, when you look back, you elevated someone's life in a way in which they never can repay you. And there's something so satisfying about that. And so I want to just say, man, kudos to you. I don't want to give too much away because I don't want to steal the thunder from a podcast that's coming up, but I just see something with the leaders that I'm talking to at Touching Hearts at Home, where there is a genuine care and concern for communities, for team members, for caregivers, for employees, for the people that we're serving. And I just want to say thank you.
It's seriously my pleasure. I mean, this franchise organization, it starts from the foundation with Renee, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it starts from the top, the culture that she built. Now the leadership that's being carried through with Todd Tremmel, I mean, it's fantastic. And that trickles down to the franchisees. I mean, that attracts the people that you're exactly talking about, right? And I think that's why you're seeing these are not only sharp-minded business people, but they're devoted servants to their community, unlike other networks. It's undeniable, and that's the difference with Touching Hearts for sure.
Thank you.
You bet, man.
So my name is Glenn Langang again. I'm your host, and this is another episode of Conversations from the Heart. Chris Greene in Colorado, just absolutely killing it. I was inspired. I hope you were too today. I look forward to connecting with you next time with more Conversations from the Heart. Thank you.
Thanks, man.